Alabama team will host the beautiful Mississippi State Bulldogs at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Third down in Bryant-Denny Stadium. You know those bells that always run?
Oh, yeah.
Dong,
Dong.
dong. I think it's a little intimidating.
Oh, yeah. You kidding me?
I don't really love it because normally a punt's coming next. And this ref runs and looks at it, the smallest iPad option.
Yep.
Not even standard iPad option.
It's like an iPhone. Almost.
Here's the game, boys. First drive. Here's the game. Look at how it's a half an inch. He's in shotgun. They got him spread out. This is the difference between college and NFL. NFL, they're actually putting somebody in motion, standing right behind the quarterback, putting both their hands out and saying, hey, we are shoving the ass of the quarterback to get this. Mike Leach and the boys want to take another look at it. Bryant-Denny's noise feels like they probably were the reason for that timeout. Serena Ionescu was on the show the other day, called her by the wrong name. She said it was no big deal. I feel like I disrespected her. No offense, Buki or Bookie, who's in on another tackle. We did not think that the Bulldogs were going to be able to keep up. The problem with this particular game for the Bulldogs, we thought, was Nick Saban had a chance to do that rat poison talk.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We let everybody get it. All right. We let a little rat. All right. And then they had to reset. We thought this team was going to be focused here early. And granted, we're only 4 minutes into this game. And that's the thing about college football is this game could be a 5-6 hour one, and they get a big stop there. Alabama does, which is good for our bets, not necessarily good for the Bulldogs.
They're not so much an over-the-top team, so will that bother Bama? I don't know.
And we just zoomed in on Mike Leach's call sheet there. It appears as if there's 7 plays.
Yeah, seriously. Mike
Bone. There it is.
Jeez. Now, we do have an interception here for Alabama.
Yeah, we do.
And no offense to Mississippi State, once again, we love your boys.
Yeah.
We love your team.
Love the
we love
cowbells.
Leach. We love Will Rogers. Love the cowbell. We all have a significant amount of money on Alabama. And also, like, for college football, if Alabama continues to win, this is going to be fascinating for the college football playoff. Because the question was posed to Kirk Herbstreit this morning that said, if Alabama or Oregon wins out, are they going to go to the college football playoff? And he just like quickly was like, oh, and then Pollack was like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, but if you go undefeated and you're in a Power 5, you should go to the playoffs. 39-yarder from here, 7 yards in college, 8 yards in the NFL.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
On the hash, too.
Yeah, in college, it's much wider hash than the NFL. Harder to kick in college, I think, than the NFL.
Really?
Personally.
Was that a...
Wide hash marks. I mean, I experienced the downfalls of wide hash marks on a short kick. Well, you can miss from short. In the NFL, you're on the upright, so basically, you're going to do it. Now, with that being said, there's people running 4.2s trying to get it. The off has to be quicker, and there's billions of dollars on the line on every single kick. 5+ all-purpose yards. That guy is a dog.
Yeah.
Ty, that's a big change for this Alabama offense if they can't have the number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, you know, and you take it with a grain of salt because what do we got? Oh, there it is.
And 4th and 3. Mississippi State goes for it. Could have kicked the field goal. Mike Leach says, we don't need 3. We need 7. Give the ball back to Bryce Young and the Alabama offense. Now they're hitting big strikes. It seems that their offensive line has settled in. A lot of time. Move the body. Get your eyes downfield and deliver a strike. All of a sudden, they're in field goal range. A lot of hard work, a lot of recruiting, a lot of success, a lot of older players taking younger players under the belt, and also a lot of NFL time. Look at him just chilling, walking around, having the time of his life. Is this a 45-second play? Directing traffic. Touchdown! Alabama. There's no way you can cover somebody for 15, 16 seconds. JoJo Earl with a 31-yard touchdown reception. If you're going to let Bryce Young run around for 25, 30 seconds, not bring any extra pressure, let the offensive line handle the defensive line, there's a chance that that's going to happen all night to any team. What will Mike Leach and the boys do going forward? I have no clue.
Happy Saturday evening. Roll Tide Roll has now gone to the end zone. That was a beautiful call, Pat, by the way, old JoJo Earl. World class. I mean, he might just be a 4-star out of high school, but by God, that's a 6-star name.
Yeah.
JoJo Earl.
Well, I think
my kind of guy.
Hey, the South has a lot of those. You know, your name's Marty.
do.
I mean, that's an incredible. The show named Marty and McGee is maybe one of the
Marty's
best
such a
Southern shows of
horrible
all.
name.
What's that?
Marty is such a horrible name. I say that to my wife all the time, Patty. Like I'm one of those Southern hillbillies that all 3 of my names are surnames. First name is Martin. That is my grandmother's maiden name. Middle name Cameron, that is my great-grandmother's maiden name. Last name Smith, which there's 700 trillion Smiths across the world. Our family tree goes straight up and down with no branches. Hey, I'm telling you, Will Rogers might be the most underappreciated player in the entire country.
Hey, that's every Mike Leach quarterback, I feel like, right? Every Mike Leach quarterback that gets it and gets the system and can operate it is a very good quarterback. Motivational speech about not giving up or not quitting or whatever.
You got it.
Love it. Need it. Need that in my life. Oh, that might be a helmet to helmet.
Yeah, it certainly is.
See you later. See you later. Can't do it. Number 8, Jackie Matthews.
Thought you were going to say Easterby for some reason.
Well, Jack Easterby, he's gone too.
He's
from
out of there
Houston,
as well.
so. He left the New England Patriots because Robert Kraft told him to clone Bill Belichick. He said, I can't do that. I work for the Lord. Only the Lord can clone people. He goes to Houston Texans, becomes the general manager. He's since been fired. Nonetheless, Jackie Matthews, who's from Alabama. From Alabama. Drops the helmet, clear helmet, the helmet's up. Now listen, I'm not a big fan of the ejection of players because when you're in college, you only have a certain amount of games to prove yourself, only a certain amount of year to kind of get better and do your thing and hopefully make it to the next level and help your team, and you're a starter and you're affecting everybody for not playing. Helmet's clearly hit. It was clearly on a wide receiver that was considered defenseless. They are going to kick him out of the game.
I'm with at least close to the red zone, then you come away with 0 points. That's never going to work.
Well, that's just classic football. Old cousin in the backfield has a nosebleed, had both of his nostrils stuffed. That's what type of football we're talking about in the SEC.
Hard-nosed.
Literally.
Yeah.
Broken-nosed.
Doesn't
Football.
care.
Bryce Young, time, seed.
Oh, boy.
If he's going to continue to get 6-7 seconds, they're going to find holes in the zone. They have enough athletes, and Bill O'Brien has enough plays that they're going to be able to pick it apart. And we're all going to look back on the fourth down failures, and they're going to talk about that. The big deal is the decision-making by this defense not to try and get pressure on Bryce Young, let him sit back and chill. Left side, seems like they're bringing it. Bryce Young makes a check. What did Bill O'Brien check? Pressure.
Picked up.
Time. Tied.
Touchdown. Come on.
That's easy stuff.
Oh, boy.
We're figuring out the game. Now, we all did hammer Alabama minus 21.5.
Big time.
So we're pretty close to that particular thing here in the middle of the second quarter. After a loss to Tennessee a week ago, with still everything right in front of them, we thought Alabama would show up. I'm not saying they haven't yet, but it has looked very easy for them in all of their scoring drives. Lack of pressure leads to a lot of time, leads to the best quarterback in this class finding a wide open receiver, and it is 21-zip in Tuscaloosa with 8 minutes left in the second quarter.
Great name.
Hunter from Mississippi. No, this isn't him.
Oh, wow.
What happened
What the
to
hell
George?
happened to George? What you guys do to George? You cut George, Vic?
He was holding for the extra point.
Archer Trafford the fifth.
Hell of a bomb. Sounds like George just lost his job to Mr. Trafford. Hit a bomb down to the 12. Continues.
Yeah, Vic, how do you feel about the state of college football right now? Obviously, with NIL deals, it's kind of changing the game with recruiting. But how do you feel, too, about the super conferences with the Big Ten and the SEC and the college football playoff expanding?
Honestly, I really don't feel either, no way about it. But the only thing I can think of about people wanting to join the SEC is, that's pretty much, in my opinion, the best conference in college football. So if you can win the SEC, specifically the SEC West, you might have a chance to win the national championship.
Let's get some eyes on some fans at Bryant-Denny, shall we? If we have the ability to control said cameras. I think, boom! Whoa. This is what I'm talking about. They talk about it being different in the South. That hammer has Rammer Jammer on it. It's in Alabama. This man is known as the Slammer. I mean, are you talking about the best night of Rammer Jammer, Luchador, Hammer, and Alabama Slammer out there beating the hell out of Mississippi State? What an evening. And that's what it's about in the SEC. It's about putting a Luchador mask on. It's about putting on a parka, it appears.
That's right.
It's about getting a damn hammer and then Rammer Jammer and that thing all over the place. How about this? Look at the face paint. Halloween's right around the corner. Is the dude on the right what you were talking about?
Looks like the I Like Turtles kid.
And I don't know what that is. Okay. I assume somebody understands what that is. Love the face paint. Love the excitement for the Crimson Tide. Love that Halloween's right around the corner. Got some pom-poms. We're still on your side, even though we look like we will eat the hell out of your skin. The one on the left there looks like a rock star, Metallica there. Yeah. Got a little bit of the Kiss drip, I believe, on the face. I respect this because this goes all out. It's uncomfortable. It's got to be hot. Can't have many beers, white drinks, white food. No, it'll stick to the paint. So the amount of art that is on Cuzzy's face, I have a lot of respect for it, too. Shout out to Brian Denny having a hell of an atmosphere tonight for a 24-zip game. You know how many people, their final words, and we don't want to glamorize it, but, like, people get the death penalty. Mm-hmm. They're about to die.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You have any final words? So many. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
I bet 24th ranked Mississippi State team on Primetime. And then you just get to realize there's levels to this thing.
Yeah, you could say there's a chance, but
Oh no! Oh no!
oh geez.
That was it? You were literally just saying you could say there's a chance.
Oh, no.
And then I was also going to follow it up with, but they just showed that stat that it's 103-3 in the last 4 games at Tuscaloosa versus these two.
Dude, it could have been 103-9.
Yeah,
In the chest, in the hands, off the thigh,
that kind of nut.
into Rammer Jammer's seat. Man, we've talked about a lot of players today that Mississippi State has needed.
Yeah.
With this guy sitting in the stands, Bear Brown hat, mustache ready to go, sunglasses on. This guy might be a spy. This guy might be a freaking, who is this somebody's dad? That's somebody important, I think.
Well, she had binoculars, so they could be spies.
That looks like that's a fake identity. That is a fake person right there.
Yeah, that guy's
Kirby
not
Smart.
real.
That Kirby Smart's father, man.
Hey, Rammer Jammer, take a trip up to wherever this hammer's swinging, and let's have a conversation with the mustached spy right now for Alabama.
I don't know. We'll see. I did want to ask you. So I know that we always like to say, hey, any given Saturday, anything can happen. But when you have a team like Alabama that is like 8 deep at every position with just 5-star after 5-star after 5-star, and granted, we saw it last week. They got beat by Tennessee.
Good.
Yeah, but Tennessee is very good. Like, do you think, is it really any given Saturday when it comes to some of these teams like this?
I think it is, and I only say that strictly because I was a part of a game. We were like 20-some point favorites, and we lose, and we end up not going to the national championship. I get 27 death threats, and I still think about it to this day. So I think when you're dealing with like 18 to 23-year-olds, I think you can assume that a team's going to show up, but any given Saturday, a team could not show up too for whatever reason. So if in the first half you see a team has shown up, I think you can throw those out. But I think you can get a read early on whether or not it's going to be a game. I think personally, that's just my scouting opinion of college football after watching this season in depth. A team's either going to show up or they're not. Mississippi State's a team that didn't show up. Muff a punt. Alabama's in field goal range already. Any turnover on a punt is normally points automatically, probably in field goal range. And here we go. Special teams has been bad for Mississippi State. They filtered in a couple punters. They have a muff punt when they're down 24. This is just something you can't do. Ball might have turned over a little bit early. He started squatting. You want to catch that thing on one peck, maybe even right peck, left peck.
Right.
Middle peck can go right through. Not exactly what you're taught to do. You're certainly not taught to have it hit your ankles. That's just a little lack of attention span, lack of concentration, and now Alabama's going to make this thing 31, and this guy's never going to get to return a punt again.
I'm on the phone with the Rams, and they're telling me how much, after the first time they showed up, they love this tight end from South Alabama the next day, Gerald Everett. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds really interesting. And then I'm on the phone with the 49ers, and they say, tomorrow we're hoping to get this tight end from South Alabama, Gerald. And I don't say anything about
That's a tough spot for you. You get, because they're reading you too. They're reading you.
I'm just listening, and I'm going, oh my God. So the 49ers and Rams both want Gerald Everett. And the Rams got Gerald Everett, and the 49ers were forced to settle in the same draft for a tight end from Iowa named George Kittle. So it worked out okay.
Yeah, I think
for the 49ers. But then when the Rams were in on Matthew Stafford, the 49ers tried to get on Matthew Stafford, but the Rams got him. And then last year when Odell Beckham was up, the Rams were interested, the 49ers were interested, and who gets him? The Rams. So this time, all of a sudden, who are the two teams that are most interested in Chris? The Rams and the 49ers. As somebody said to me, I hate that it's always the two of us competing for the same guys. But that's what it is, and I think that they kind of feed off each other, and there's this great rivalry on and off the field between the Rams and 49ers, and it kind of gets their juices going. It brings out the best in each other, and so that's the way it is.